Picture a young woodworker arriving at his teacher's shop before sunrise. He is ready for instruction. He expects diagrams, tools, and a lecture about technique. Instead, the teacher places a plain block of wood on the table. No polish, no ornament, no design sketched on its surface. The student waits for the real lesson to begin, but the teacher only says, "Keep it on your table for a week before you carve anything." At first, the assignment feels ridiculous. A block of wood is just raw material. Its value seems to be in what it can become: a bowl, a spoon, a box, a work of art. Leaving it untouched looks like wasted time. But that discomfort is the lesson. Most of us feel uneasy in the presence of unused possibility. We want to shape it, name it, improve it, and turn it into something impressive as quickly as we can. In Daoist thought, that piece of wood has a name: pu, often rendered as the uncarved block or unhewn wood. In the Tao Te Ching, the classic text associated with Laozi, it points towards simplicity, plainness, and a state not yet overworked by social ambition and restless desire. This does not mean Taoism worships ignorance or tells people to become passive and dull. An uncarved block still has grain, weight, strength, and possibility. It has not lost anything essential. If anything, it has not yet been cut into a narrow purpose. That is why the image still feels alive. Before life turns us into 100 anxious tools, there is a more whole way of being. By the third day, the student begins staring at the block differently. He notices that every design he imagines is tied to someone else's gaze. If he carves a perfect bowl, people will admire his skill. If he makes something ornate, people will call him talented. Even his creativity is already crowded by performance. When the teacher finally speaks again, he does not talk about wood. He says, "The first thing to carve away is hurry." That line lands hard because it turns the whole lesson inward. Returning to simplicity is not about owning fewer objects or pretending to have no goals. It is about noticing how quickly the mind forces shape onto everything: a role, an identity, a plan, a reaction. The uncarved block is a reminder that not every possibility needs to be turned into a product the moment it appears. This is where the idea becomes very modern. Most of us are not shaping wood. We are shaping ourselves constantly. We polish profiles. We optimize routines. We brand our personalities. We turn hobbies into side hustles, conversations into networking, rest into recovery strategy, and attention into something that must always be monetized or improved. Little by little, life becomes all carving. And when that happens, we start confusing usefulness with worth. Silence feels unproductive. Slowness feels like failure. A day without visible output feels suspicious. Even our private thoughts begin sounding like performance reviews. One way to read Pew today is as resistance to that condition. Not resistance through laziness, and not through total withdrawal, but through remembering that a human being is more than a polished function. Success is not the enemy here. The problem is overshaping, becoming so cut by noise, comparison, and borrowed urgency that you can no longer feel what fits naturally. So what do you actually do with this idea? Try creating one uncarved block moment each day, before you answer the first message, before you open the next app, before you explain yourself, defend yourself, or improve yourself. Pause. Leave a pocket of life uncut. It could be one quiet cup of tea without input, a short walk without headphones, a blank page with one honest question written on it. What is necessary today, and what is noise? And if you are in conflict, the practice becomes even more valuable. Do not carve your response too fast. Let the grain show first. Often the wisest action appears a few seconds after the performative one. Simplicity in this sense is not less life. It is more space for the right form to emerge. When the week ends, the woodworker finally picks up his tools. Now he carves with a quieter mind. He's no longer trying to force the wood into proof of his talent. He is paying attention to what the grain allows. That is a good final image for the Daoist lesson. The point is not to remain forever untouched. Life will shape you. Work will shape you. Love, grief, responsibility, and time will shape you. The question is whether that shaping begins from panic or from clarity. The uncarved block invites a return, not a retreat. A return to the part of you that was not improved by excess noise. And from there, even action becomes lighter, cleaner, and a little more true.